If you remember last class, I told you uh, if there is a fire incident, you know where will be the fire extinguisher. When we come to class, we know where will be the duster, where will be the chalks. Okay, then we discussed about some vehicle showrooms. If you go there when they are in the service center, all tools and equipments kept in the designated places, so you know when to take it. I mean, how to where to find it. It increases your effectiveness and efficiency. Also, we looked at, suppose there is no place for HOD to sit, you'll waste time for his sign, searching for him. Instead, proper place is there, you know where to go. If he's not there, give the document to his secretary. She will keep it signed. Okay, so that is one way of looking at it. Another way, social order, another way to look at it is, proper, clear, procedure is there for promotion or whatever. So you know why this person is a professor, because of this years experience and he has met this criteria. So assistant professor, he knows to become professor I should meet this criteria. Just by influence you cannot become. If this kind of things happen, there will be unrest in the organization. So there's a clean structure given. This is the way to climb up the ladder. With this many years you'll become team leader, then to become project manager you should have these kind of things, then to become vice president you should have met these kind of things, you should have done these kind of projects, this is a skill you should have, these many projects you should have completed. So people know, just because it's uncle's company they will not make you team leader to vice president, because then things will not be in place. So that is your social order. Then briefly I took you to this 5S, okay, which is not there in your syllabus. Just for your information, how this is applied in organizations. Okay, 5S, the five Japanese words. And because of these things, Toyota in 80s became world class with large number of production and able to sell at low cost. Okay, like I told you, when I come to class, if the blackboard is very dirty, first 5 minutes I'll spend time to clean it. Then my hands will be dirty, dust all around. I may not be in that good mood. So instead, the faculty who leaves behind before me, before 2 minutes, he cleans the board. Everything is in place. I feel good. That's why when you have 8 to 12:30 class, when the next class is at 1 in the same classroom, they come and clean it. Otherwise, there will be lots of dust and things around. So people will not feel comfortable. Okay, fine. Then we had stopped at this discipline. Okay, discipline means sincerity, obedience, respect to authority. This should be there in every organization. If your boss gives you a command, you are supposed to follow that. Okay, there is no place for unrest and whatever. If it is told in the organization, do it. You have to do. Okay, so the discipline is a must. If the rule is if you come late by 5 minutes, your half day CL will be cut. So that is discipline. It is cut for anyone, maybe the CEO or the attender or whoever. The rules are same for all. Okay, when you enter the shop floor, you have to wear helmet and safety shoes. So that is the rule. If you don't follow that, you can be penalized. And by chance, if something falls on your head or something, you don't get any compensation because the basic rule itself was not followed. So always they try to maintain this discipline, follow the rules and regulations. Academic area, you are not supposed to come in shorts and whatever. Okay, rule says that is discipline. You should make sure that all come in proper dresses. Okay, if your attendance is less than 75 and more than 65, provide medical certificate. If less than 65, you are detained. Okay, so if it is the rule, it should be same for all. But there should be some things put in place so that everybody knows what to follow and all. And the thing is, if you don't punish one person, other person will take the liberty. When he was doing this mistake, he was not punished. So let us also take a chance. So things will go bad. Okay. Yeah. Now coming to initiative. I think we have discussed this also, but let me take you through again those who missed. Okay, this principle says that if someone is taking some initiative in the organization, encourage them. Okay, don't put them down. What happens if you put them down? Next person will not open up. They'll think this is not good. We are not being encouraged. Okay, then I gave you some examples of the open elective concepts, the overhead projectors. These are some people's initiatives. Okay, if it was put down, things would have been still stand still. We not been using all these latest things. We would still be somewhere. So this is one of the most underrated principles. Okay, actually this could be the most important, because this can instill confidence in people or kill their confidence. Okay, so as much as possible, when we become managers, encourage initiatives. Only then these fresh ideas will come in the organization. Okay, let me give you one example from my personal experience. See what happens. See, I'm from, before joining teaching, I was into industry. So how things work there, I was in a steel plant basically. So the thing is, we should always be on our toes. Okay, next what is happening? We should keep our machineries ready for that. Now suppose there is some production going on with some kind of somebody is disturbing. I don't know who is it. Nikhil, can you please mute your mic? Okay, no problem. I've done it myself. Yeah. Yeah, coming to initiative. Yeah, I was telling I was working in a steel plant. So thing is, now there is some production going on with some kind of specific, you know, measurement. So we are supposed to see when the production will change, what will be the next size that we'll have to work on. So we have to, make sure that when the size change happens, all machineries are in place. So we are always on our toes. Okay, thinking ahead. Next what? Next what? So when with this kind of mindset, when I first joined teaching, not in MIT, I was in some other college. Okay, what happened? It was a very new college uh, with gallery classrooms like your NLH, bigger version of that, huge 200, 250 capacity, but kind of open, not closed like our NLH. It was huge classroom, so much open, so many pillars in between, and new college. We are supposed to start class after 2 3 days. So when we are just thinking, I was very fresh. So I told other people, can we go to the classroom, put on the mic, and then see which is the best place to tuck the mic on our shirt? How far should we keep? From which angle we should speak and whatever. So immediate result answer was from some people. See, all these gimmicks will not work. What works is the stuff you have inside you. You are a fresher, so you're talking all this. We have no tension. We have so much of stuff. We can do anything. I was insulted with this kind of dialogue in front of 10 15 people. I was in kind of shock. How can you tell this? My feeling was actually एकदम से वक्त बदल दिया, जज्बात बदल दिए, जिंदगी बदल दी. मुझे माफ करे सारे, मैं यहाँ से जाना चाहता हूँ. I just went off from there. I went by myself, then tried these things. Where should we keep the mic? Because first time you are seeing those kind of equipments, the hang, what do you call that? The mic which you can tuck on your shirt, the same what you have in NLH. Okay, so I went around which is the best place to speak, from where the echoes will come. Whatever, I did some trial and error. So when the class started, I had absolutely no problem. It went on nicely. But then these people had hell lot of a problem, because 200 new students coming there, these people struggling to talk, and in the when the thing in front of so many people become so nervous, and it went bad for them. Then they came to me and told, "Oh, you are right. We are sorry." But I told, "Okay, fine." But it was too late by then. So after that, I never opened my mouth. Whatever I knew, I just kept quiet from that place. No, I thought this place is not encouraging initiatives, telling something for betterment, but being taken as offensive. I thought, मुझे माफ करे सारे. Then I'm just telling you example how it can impact people. Okay, after that, I never opened my mouth there, because if you're telling something, if you're put down in that way, so that's why organize encourage things. Okay, now if you see, if you cricket, one day and test matches are going on, somebody proposed somewhere, why not T20? Initiative was encouraged. Okay, let's see what is to be done. Then can we have some leagues? Yes, let us see how it works out. And then it's new things are happening. So day and night test match, whatever. It started from somebody's initiative. If it was put down, you will still be playing the same thing. No leagues happening around, no money rolling in, no employment happening, all those things. So always, if you take your Zomato or Swiggy or whatever, it started from somewhere. Can we have this kind of a plan where people that are there will go and give food? Definitely, people would have laughed it off in the beginning. But then, with the invent of new technologies, smartphones, people willing to spend, digital payments, everything fell in place. But it has to be started from some initiative. Okay, so that is the importance. Then talking about fair remuneration. So this principle says that as much as possible, pay your employees in a fairly and reasonable, satisfactory manner, rewarding their efforts. So what this means is they all are equal to us, so everybody will get 25,000 salary. This is the structure. If that is the case, say a BTech person getting 25, MTech person also getting 25, PhD holder getting 25, person with 20 years experience getting 25, so it doesn't look good. Okay, so you have more experience, so we are giving you something more. You have extra degree, we are paying you something more. So that doesn't mean that this is discrimination. Okay, this is fair. This is our salary structure. See, same company, but you are posted in Bangalore. One person is posted in Noida. The Bangalore person gets 30,000. Noida person gets 35. That doesn't mean that you're discriminating. See, the standard of living is more there. Okay, so keeping that component in mind, they are giving something extra. Okay, you are in some kind of, maybe some not so metro. Some person is in metro, so that person, same company gets paid more. Doesn't mean that this is discrimination. Okay, that is keeping the standard of living in that area at point in time. Okay, so that is your fair remuneration. Considering all these things, see some person, you know having lot of experience, so you can reward their experience every year. We are giving you this component for your experience. Okay, fine, that person will be happy to stay in the organization, and inputs will be coming out. Okay, so that is your fair remuneration. Stability of tenure. See, another meaning of this is job security. Okay, so this principle says as much as possible, make people feel that their job is secured. Only then the best things will come out. If a person feels that his job is not secure, okay, his contribution may not be that much. Now see, for example, I know that I am permanent here. Okay, till death I can be here if I want. So my approach will be different. I will learn some new things. I'll update new study material. I'll do some courses. I will you know do some projects. I'll do something that will keep me help me grow in my profession, because I know I am here permanent. But if I know that I may not be permanent, within 2 3 months I may be asked to leave, then why will I break my head? Okay, I may think next time when I start new job, I'll do everything. But let me relax here. Let me go around and enjoy this life. So no contribution is coming out. Okay, so that is the difference between this permanent and temporary jobs. When you make people feel that your job is secure, you will be here for long. Okay, then they will upgrade themselves, try to give the best, more contribution, because I want to be something here. But if this is not for me, in 1 or 2 months time I may be asked to leave, so then you may not want to finish the portions. You are not correcting papers on time, assignments not given correctly, material not because you think I may go anytime. Why to break head on all these things? Okay, so when you start working, when you feel that your job is secure, you will do something new. You will learn some new software. You will think ahead. Okay, how can I go to on site? Say you are working in a US company. How can I go there? To go there, I should have these kind of skills. I should have led some 2 3 projects. So you're thinking on that angle and you're working towards that. Now, if you think that in 2 3 months I may be asked to leave, so you'll think, oh, I don't do anything, just sleepwalking, coming and going. Next job when I get that time, I'll be very dedicated. That's what you think, and then this job suffers, and then no proper experience. Then it will keep on, accumulating these kind of things. So, organize. Principle says make people comfortable that yes, your job is safe and secure. Then the best contributions will come. Okay. Next principle, this is called scalar chain. Okay, the meaning is there should be a chain of superiors ranging from the top authority to the lowest. Okay, say for example, there should be clean chain of commands going. People should know I am assistant professor. I'm reporting to HOD. He reports to joint director. He reports to director. Like this clean chain of command. Why is because for everything you have to follow this chain for every communication. But in case of emergencies, you can bypass this. That doesn't mean that you have done something wrong and you should be penalized. See, for example, we are in a classroom setting, and say my class is at 11:30 today. Okay, 11:30 to 12:30 is my class. But you people have some plans. You want to go somewhere, so you ask me at 9:30. Sir, today's class can you shift to some other day? Mm, we have some work. So what should be the procedure? Actually, if you go by rules, I should tell, okay, write it on a sheet of paper and get it signed by all your classmates. Then I will think. Because people will tell, sir, everybody wants to go for a movie today, you shift the class. But there may be some people from Mangalore who have come and who think, why to, we'll finish the class and go. Again, who will come for this class? Then there may be some people who are going for a long leave. They may think, let this class be over, then we will go. So there are 15, 20 people not willing to cancel today's class. And if I cancel, then they can sue me in the court. We did not agree for that offer. The class should have been taken. So I will tell, let get everybody sign. So the CR goes, get everybody sign and comes to me. Then I have to report to your HOD. So this is the case. Can I cancel the class today? I mean, can I shift the class? Your HOD will permit. Then I have to show it to my HOD. So this is the problem. Then it has to go to Associate Director Academics. Then it has to go to JD, then Director, and then okay, agreed. So for to do this task and get the letter back, it could be next Thursday. Okay, you wanted off this 11:30 this Thursday, but if you follow all this procedure, it will end up by next Thursday. So in this case, what we can do, we will bypass. Okay, I will take the decision, and then we will see what happens. Okay, I will take the decision. I will take the class on Tuesday. Done. Okay, so that doesn't mean I should be penalized. In case of emergency, we have taken this decision like this. Okay, some fire incident has happened and you should stop the production in your workplace. So if you want to stop the production, it's a big thing that you're stopping the production. It has to follow a protocol. Ask this person, that person, get his sign, get his consent, so many things. But when you do these things, quality may have gone still bad. Okay, imagine you're making some laptop, some scratch is coming because of some roller problem, and you want to stop production so that next laptop doesn't get this quality problem. So if you go by permission, it will take 1 hour. By then, 100 laptops would have been produced. So immediately stop the production. For stopping that, you will not be penalized. Okay, that is your scalar chain. Okay, that should be orders and all clearly passing through some chains. But in case of emergency, you are allowed to break that chain. Okay, that doesn't mean you have done some great mistake. People will understand. Okay, this was a situation of emergency, so he has taken a decision by himself. No problem. Okay, so that is your scalar chain. Yeah. The next principle says, subordination of individual interest to general interest. Okay, that means organization first. Your interests can wait. Okay. See, for example, imagine tomorrow is the last day for syllabus completion and mark entry, and I am yet to finish 2 chapters. Okay, and tomorrow afternoon is your sessional, your exam, and the 2 chapters are there for your sessional. And I am on leave from today afternoon. Okay, what should be done? See, this subject common across all branches. So all branches they have finished the portion or whatever, but tomorrow afternoon is the exam. Chapter 4 and 5 also included. But I am still in chapter 3. But the thing is, there is some alumni meet. Okay, my friends, 20-year-old friend, I'm meeting them after 20 years. After a 1 year long discussion in WhatsApp, we have finally concluded that we are meeting in Goa. Okay, 2 days program. Oh, say 60 of my friends are coming from all over the world, US, France, Brazil, wherever they are, some from India. We have decided we are meeting in Goa tomorrow. And I have booked the flights, everything. Everything is ready. But now tomorrow you have exam. I have not finished the portion. So what should I do? Today afternoon my flight at 2. I have to start from here at 12, reach Bangalore airport at 2, then my flight starts, then I'll be busy. I cannot cancel that because, from after 1 year, everybody has come from so many places and I'm the organizer, maybe. Okay, so if I don't go, they will feel bad. And I have not finished the portions here. So what should I do? Okay, so people may think reduce the portions. Reduce the portions, question paper has been prepared because all other branches portion has been finished. Okay, then you may tell, then give us grace marks. Then if I give you grace mark, other classes will protest. Then why we had to read and waste our time? Okay, then if I send you some alternate faculty to finish the portion, you may tell we have lab. We don't have time. Only 30 people are free, 30 have labs. So a lot of confusion, chaos, and so many things. So what is the best thing? I should cancel my program and look, see that the portions are finished. Okay, because 1,000 people will suffer because of me not finishing the portion. Okay, we cannot reduce the portion, and we have already taken printout. 1,000 copies have been printed. We cannot, reduce the portion or not give questions from that chapter. Nothing. So in that, what should I do? Forget my personal plan. Organization first. Okay, and then let me do anything. After the portion is finished, then I'm left to my own. But without doing all that things, I cannot go from here. Okay, that is this principle. Your organization first. So by today 5 o'clock, you have to give some consignment. Important 100 laptops you have to give to some your clients. Okay, if you give them on time, you will get more contracts next time. Good word of mouth will spread. He'll tell others these people are giving on time. So today you delivering at 5 o'clock is very important. But if you find that today we have some other plans, let this wait. We'll give them tomorrow. Today we will do that task. Okay, what will happen? The client will be unhappy, negative word of mouth. You may not get more contracts. Your organization will suffer in the long run. So your other work can wait. This work should come first. Okay, your alumni meet can wait. Nothing will happen. You first finish this task and go. Okay, so that is this principle. To achieve all this, an employee should be honest and sincere. Proper supervision should be there. Controlling should be there. Okay, that by 11 o'clock, this many products should have been prepared. Is it happening or not? Okay, suddenly at 5 o'clock, you cannot think 100 laptops completed or not. You have to control by 11 o'clock 50, 12 o'clock 100, 1 o'clock 150. Is it happening or not? Like that. Okay, but thing is, finally, organization first. Okay. Yeah. This principle says, esprit de corps. That means encourage team spirit. Okay, this principle meaning is team spirit. See, as far as possible, you make teams in such a way that there is, harmony and proper understanding among the group members. Don't make teams, that has bias. Okay, we are working as a team. That should be the spirit. Don't make a team and then find out and try to bifurcate, telling four are South Indians, four are North Indians, or four are, you know, mm, whatever. Don't try to discriminate. We are one team. Okay, so inculcate these kind of things in the team. Only then people will be motivated to work harder, and as a team, you will succeed. But if you make teams and then start dividing, we are seniors, these four are juniors. Okay, why should we do this? Let the juniors do it. If these kind of things come in, gone. Your energies will never be synergized. They will not be channelized. You will waste time in fighting. Okay, so make teams in such a way that people are, harmonious. Junior hai to kya hua, senior hai to kya hua, we are one team. Why? Together we have to succeed. That should be the feeling. Okay, if you make teams and tell you South Indians are fast, do fast, or tell North Indians you are quick, you do quick. If you do all these things will not work. Okay, as a team, we are one team. You may be South Indian, North Indian, you may be from Punjab, from Gujarat, whatever. We are one team, India. Okay, you may be from any place, but together we will run the show. So inculcate this kind of thing. Okay, this applies to every place. Even if you take our department, there are some seniors, there are some juniors. We are humanities and management. Some 12 people are from English background, 12 people are from engineering background. So we should work as a team. If you tell these English people are like this, these management people are like this. Look, if we start bifurcating, together we'll never be able to achieve the goal. Okay, because finally what is seen, humanities and management has met the goal or not. Nobody is going to ask English department met the goal or not, or management met the goal or not. So that is this team spirit. Then this principle, last one, it talks about centralization and decentralization. The meaning here is as much as possible, push power down the line. Okay, instead of one person taking all the decisions, empower others, and push the power down the order. See, the meaning is, um, see, long back, mm, maybe early 2000s or late 90s, MIT did not have a director. It was called principal. Okay, principal, vice principal, and then chief wardens. That's it. It was like this. Okay, then HODs and all that. Now see, um, you have attendance shortage. Okay, for whatever two classes you need. So you write a letter and go to the principal and get his permission. No ATMs. You have to pay mess bill from through your DD or through cash, and your parents from some other place are sending you DD. So if you get the DD, go to Syndicate Bank here in the campus, deposit it, and after 3 days or something, it will be encashed. So your mess bill due date is over. So you want this extension to pay. Write a letter, go and get it signed from the principal. You lost your marks card. You want to duplicate marks card. Write a letter and go there. Okay, and then you want to change the hostel room, or you want to leave the hostel and go out. You fought with some person, you had a small fight, that teacher threw you out, and to get in the class again you have to get it signed from principal. So like this, people waiting there outside principal's office, 20 people any given point in time, all these things. Okay, I need concession for bus pass. Okay, get it signed by the principal. So going there. So when you are waiting, principal has other meetings also, and then some alumni comes in, so you have to wait more because alumni, the principal will go and talk to them nicely. So he says you go to vice principal and get it signed. You go to vice principal, already 20 people are waiting there. So you went for attendance shortage. By the time you get permission and come, you lost many more classes here. So it was huge chaos. Then people waiting there for paying examination fees. Okay, huge rush during that time. So these were the things going on. So then when it became Mahe, what they decided? They decided we are going to decentralize things. Instead of principal, vice principal taking all the decisions, we will create positions who will help us in decision making. So what they did, they had this um, ed- associate director academics, associate director research and consultation, associate director alumni relations, associate director student welfare. So like this, so now you can go to them and get all these things signed, and that examination fees now you pay in the beginning itself, no tension. And your mess bill also you pay in the beginning itself. Otherwise you had to wait, go and pay every month, huge rush and all. So this is your decentralization. Instead of one person holding everything, they have pushed the power down the line. Now edit associate directors are empowered. Okay, so this is decentralization. As much as possible, push power down the line. So they have created new heads. Things are sorted out there. Director and JD can focus on other developmental things. Okay, so that is this principle. So when you become team leaders or project managers in future, when you start your own company, something, small things you can delegate and let others take care. You take care of the major decisions. Okay, some serious issue, then it has to come to you. Otherwise, normal permission for small these things, you can leave it to others. Okay, your time will be saved, others will be empowered, things will be faster, communication will be faster, decision making will be faster. You will be more effective. Okay, yeah. So that was about 14 principles of management. Okay, very important. No matter which exam you write from now, questions will be there from that in any kind of way. Either we'll ask directly three principles, or we'll ask you to explain these things, or some case will be asked, and then which are the principles followed or not followed, and which principle should have been followed. So whatever. So these 14 will be asked in one way or the other. And these principles are same anywhere you go, whatever you do financial management, human resource management, creativity and innovation management, healthcare management, technology management, marketing management, anything you do, these principles hold good for every domain. Okay, so now we will look into another important thing known as managerial roles. We'll just take a 10 seconds break and then we'll start. Now, if you have any doubts at this point, you can ask me. Yeah, so we will proceed with the managerial roles. See, the concept here is, if you take any lady, okay, she plays the role of a mother, she plays the role of a sister, she plays the role of a daughter, wife. Okay, like this many roles, same person. Like that, managers, if you take at any point in time, they will be playing different roles. Okay, same manager, at once he is doing this role, another time he is doing that role. So what are those roles that we see? So these are given by somebody known as Mintzberg. So this is known as Mintzberg managerial roles. Okay, see, if you actually ask a manager, what do you do whole day? So there are different things. He cannot simply tell you in one thing. There are different things that he does. Okay, plus like what is there in the slide? Same example. Say night you are sleeping, you get a call telling that your factory is on fire. So he has to do so many things immediately. Okay, did you call the fire service? Tomorrow morning this client we have to give this consignment. If we cannot do, then can we do outsourcing? What can be done? Can we buy extra time from the client? Okay, well, how much will be the loss? Is anyone hurt? What is to be done? Are the arrangements done? See, same time is doing different things. Okay, so these are different roles. We will see what they are. Okay, so Mintzberg has classified them, a manager's roles, into three. Okay, that is your interpersonal, informational, and decisional. Okay, informational role, I mean the interpersonal role, more about in less about decision making. Okay, informational role also not much about decision making. Decisional role, as the name says, some decision making happens there. Okay, so we'll see now what are these. Interpersonal three are there, informational three are there, decisional four. Okay, again, one very important question is explain the different roles given by Mintzberg. Or some small case will be given, and you have to, based on what is asked, you have to write down. Okay, when this happened, the manager played this role. When this incident happened, the manager was playing this role, like that. So again, I'm telling you, don't get confused between managerial functions and managerial roles. Managerial functions are planning, organizing, staffing, leading, controlling. Managerial roles are this: interpersonal, informational, and decisional. Now we will see what is this. See, interpersonal roles, three things. Okay, now see, uh, you're organizing revels or tech tattva or something. You call the VC or the registrar for inauguration. Why? You can yourself cut the ribbon and tell, we declare the meet open. Yes, revels is open. Tech tattva, we declare it open. But you are calling some higher authority and doing it. Okay, why? Because you may feel good that these people are, caring for us. They have come for this inauguration, and we will get some better coverage. Other organizations will also come to know that we are doing this. So you feel good that these people respect us. Okay. Otherwise, if they tell no, no, I don't have time for your inauguration, you even yourself cut the ribbon and you do it. Okay, you may not feel good. So these kind of roles are, figurehead roles where a senior comes and attend some functions or something. Say your marriage is happening, you invite your organization, the director comes or the JD comes for your marriage. Okay, you feel good. Okay, these people care for us. If they totally snub you and all, you may think, what is this? These people are, not at all caring for me. None of my colleagues came for wedding. That means maybe I am left out. They don't like me. So many things unwanted. Instead, they come and attend and go. Okay, that is, they are playing the role of figurehead. Manager, his main work is different, but you have invited him, he just comes. So this builds a rapport. Okay, other people will see, oh, these people are so good, they have come for an employee's wedding. Okay, and a relationship is built. You feel, yes, these people care for us, they have some basic courtesy. I invited, they have come. Okay, so all these roles are figurehead roles. No much decision making. They don't come there and decide that, oh, empty land is there, we'll build another factory. Nothing. They have come here, you know, to build this relationship. So these are figurehead roles. Okay, some important customer has come. These people take them for lunch, sales manager. Okay, some kind of figurehead role. Basically ceremonial kind of things. Okay, nothing much decision making or something. This is needed in the organization. You will realize this. Okay, these kind of things, create some goodwill. Okay, fine. Leader. Okay, manager as a leader. See, sometimes what happens, manager has to be a role model. Okay, he has to take some decisions and all. and people should learn from it. So that role is called management as a leader. See, next we are going to start a project in June. Okay, we need 20 people. So when to start it? When we will do it? Who will be the, coordinator? From where we'll get the people? When should we advertise? So the manager as a leader is taking all these decisions. So you feel okay, the role model. You feel that this is a good leader. He's taking apt steps. Okay, so you are feeling motivated and encouraged. Okay, let's also do this quickly. We have to get this in place. We have to get this rolling. Okay, so everybody is on their toes. Everybody contributing. So this is manager as a leader. Okay. Mm, Sometimes, like I told you, he's a father, he's a brother, he's a mother. So is responsible for running his department smoothly. So someone is returning from our department. So do we need one more person? Who should be it? Should it be associate professor or professor? Can we promote someone immediately, or can we get someone from other department, or should we get someone from outside, or do we have our own people? Can we take a trainee inside? So taking quick decisions and making things normal. Okay, and someone wants some help, providing that extra help. Okay, you have some problem, take 2 days or sort that issue and come. We will manage. So doing all these kind of things. So this is manager as a leader. Okay, and comes the manager as a liaison. Okay, you must have heard placement and liaising officer. Okay, just give a thought to it. What is that person doing? Liaising officer, placement and liaising. Okay, the thing is, suppose Infosys comes here for placement. Okay, they will not directly come with a suitcase and sit in director's cabin. We have come here for placement. I am Infosys, this person. I am HR, this, that. We want 300 people. Do you have this kind of strength? What to do? Then the director calls somebody, tells them, take them to canteen, arrange some place for them. No, this doesn't happen that way. Okay, they contact the one person, one point of contact, the placement and licensing officer. Or the licensing officer calls them and tells, why don't you come for hiring? We have this kind of strength this time. Good students, this kind of projects they have done. Last year our students got placed and they have, maintained our reputation. They are good. So this time also the crowd is good. Why don't you come here for hiring? Yes, then they tell we will come. So this person arranges their stay and arranges vehicle from them for them to come from Valley View to Innovation Center or your NLH wherever, and then organizes the rooms for them, gets the PCs ready, makes keeps people ready for the written test, someone to do the totaling, someone for result announcement, different rooms for interview. See how things are changing. Instead of they coming and doing all this, this person is doing all that. Okay, so that is the manager as a liaison. Okay. Mm, Important kind of, this person, helps build a relationship with the outsiders. Okay, instead of sticking only to his vertical chain of command, this person is responsible for getting these kind of projects, some kind of relationship building. So this is manager as a liaison. Okay, so those were interpersonal roles. Okay, now we are going to informational roles. So obviously there is something related to information here. And there are three here: monitor, disseminator, and spokesman. Spokesman role, and what you're thinking in your mind is correct. Okay, BJP spokesman, Congress spokesman, BCCI spokesman. Okay, what is the meaning? We'll come to it. First, we'll see what is this monitor role. This monitor role is the manager is monitoring things outside the organization to get some information. See why this is important. If you don't have contact with the outside world, if you're not aware of what is happening outside, you will stick with the same thing that's going on. Now, since we had, like I told you, how the open elective started, how the projectors came in here. Okay, people who went outside scanned the environment. Okay, they saw what is happening in IITs. Okay, what is happening in foreign universities. Can we get that here? So that is monitor. They are monitoring things outside. Okay, what are the competitors doing? Okay, competitors have reduced the price. So should we also reduce the price? Okay, what is VIT doing? VIT is publishing more papers and their rank is going high. So we should also produce more papers. Students should be encouraged to take up research. Okay, so all this information comes inside because of this manager as monitors. Okay, in your IT, people read different magazines, they attend different conferences, seminars, and then find out what is the latest thing. We are in C, C++, but Python has come now. and R has come in, and whatever new terms, so many different things have come in. So we should think of working on that. So these are the things. Okay, if you sit inside your organization thinking we are doing great, you are not looking at things outside. You will be, like a frog in the well, not aware of what is happening. Instead, if you have managers for monitoring things outside, that will help you. Okay, now you're done monitoring, you have got the information. How you give it in the organization, that role is disseminator role. Okay, like I told you, people who went outside found out that what is it? Open electives are there in colleges, projectors are there. So there is a difference between I going and find out that and coming, and HOD is going and finding that and coming. Okay, if I find that and come, I can tell to my colleagues Max and my HOD, the decision maker, and information will die here itself. But if HODs go and find that, he will tell that in HODs meeting. 16 HODs will listen to that. And one or two may say, yes, I have also seen that happening. I think it's very effective. Last week when I went to NITK, I saw it was there. So these kind of things. So, it gets disseminated faster. Okay. And slowly things may fall in place. They may form a committee to take it forward. And then that information is in your organization. Okay, so that is informational role. One is monitoring, scanning for information outside, then disseminating it in the organization. And this depends on managers and their positions. Okay, if I go and come, my dissemination level will be different. Managers are going and coming, their dissemination level will be different. But nevertheless, information is passed in the organization. Person is the person for information to the outside world. For example, you may tell your parents, "Hmm, this time everybody got only 7 CGPA. I have 6.8 CGPA. I'm the class second topper." Your parents may believe because you are telling it. And by chance, if you didn't get placement, you may tell this time no placement happened. That's why I also didn't get placed. And they may believe. But if they contact the official spokesman, okay, they will find out. No, this was the case. These many companies had come, whatever. Okay, so there should be someone reliable to whom the stakeholders can contact for information. Okay, now see, see, stakeholder means anyone who is directly or indirectly related to your organization. Okay, it need not be only shareholder. Shareholder and stakeholder difference is that people usually think stakeholder means shareholder. So in case of MIT, you are a stakeholder. I am a stakeholder. Your parents are stakeholders. Okay, the other people who are depending on MIT for their livelihood, they are stakeholders. The suppliers are stakeholders. They want to know what is happening. Are you increasing your classroom? Student strength is increasing. We need 10,000 more table and chairs. So those people are stakeholders. They want to know what is happening. Okay, Kamath Book House, he wants to know, should I get more books to sell here? Or Om Xerox wants to know, okay, now 10,000 more students are coming. We should buy the next room next and buy 3 more Xerox machines. So, stakeholders directly or indirectly related. Now, if you take BCCI, the Board of Control for Cricket in India, see, why the BCCI spokesperson comes and tells, our next series is in 2022, we are going to play in, say, 10 matches in Dubai, 5 matches in Australia, 6 matches in South Africa, out of which 3 will be T20, 3 will be one day internationals, then we'll have World Cup, 20 matches will be there, it will be spread across 4 locations. Why they're telling all this? They're telling this for the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Okay, one is the players. They should know. They should be available for this series. They should not plan something else. Okay, so players want to know, and the coaches want to know. That the selector should know what to. Media people want to know. Okay, because they should send their media team for coverage at these many places. Okay, the government want to know, and the fans obviously want to know. So all these are stakeholders. So this official announcement comes for the stakeholders. Your captain coming and telling next year they are going to play 10, 15 matches. Okay, you're believing it, but you don't know the reliability of it. How reliable it is? Is it true or? But a spokesman coming and giving you official information, that is what you want. Okay, say Congress spokesman, BJP spokesman, they come and tell this is the next election coming up. These many contestants are contesting. We have given ticket to this fellow, and okay, this person is the chosen one. Other there are 5 eligible people. They may tell I am contestant. Another person will tell I am contesting. So everybody is confused. official person coming and giving information always worthy. Okay, so that is the spokesman role. The manager is the face of the organization for the outside world, where he gives authentic information to the stakeholders. Okay. Okay. Then comes the decisional roles. These are our four decisional roles. Manager as an entrepreneur, manager as a disturbance handler, manager as resource allocator, and then negotiation. What is this? See, entrepreneurial role. See, one thing you should remember: all these roles there is a overlap. Okay, you cannot tell, you know, what you call clear cut. No, this person is doing only this here. There can be overlap. Like, sometimes your father, your mother, your brother, you're playing a son's role. So there may be overlap in that. So like that. So these roles also there is some overlap. But to distinguish, we have given some names. See, entrepreneurial role, manager is an entrepreneur. Okay, the thing is, he's an voluntary initiator of change. Okay, next we are going to start a new course. What kind of labs are required? We'll do it now itself. And he is taking steps to see that things fall in place. Okay, similar to leader role. But here is, more entrepreneurial. You know, he's looking for new ideas, encouraging people to give new ideas, initiating some development project, taking steps to see that the production doesn't stop, it should continue. The inventory should not be full, it should be moving. He's doing so many things. Okay, the manager is an entrepreneur. So this is similar to leader, but don't think that it should be totally different. There's an overlap. Okay. See, disturbance handler. See, sometimes things are not in your hands. Something happens, you are firefighting sometimes. Okay, so manager as a disturbance handler. See, suddenly your supplier has gone bankrupt. Okay, he doesn't have anything to give to you. So your production should not stop. You should immediately be able to contact another supplier, get the raw materials, and get things rolling. You made something, produce and manufactured some 100 laptops, and the client is not taking from you now. He had given the orders, but he has gone bankrupt. He doesn't have money. He's not buying from you. So this should not stay in your inventory. You should be able to sell it to someone else, maybe at low cost or some kind of deal, but keep things moving. So this is disturbance handler. Things are not in your hands. Okay, now for example, okay, controversial topic, but just for your understanding. See, I don't know. Should I? Okay, let me just tell about it briefly. Suppose online, offline exams. Yes, then suddenly online. There are, you understand disturbance. Suddenly something is happening. You are reacting to that. So managers, these kind of things come. Disturbance handler. Oh, you thought offline is going to be successful. Then suddenly people asking for online. Then you tell us online we will do. Then there are some problems with it, whatever, logging off or so many things. And then again you have to conduct offline and students come here. So you can think, oh, we will not discuss it much, but you understand. So the role played by the authorities here is disturbance handler. Okay, not in your control, but things are happening, and you have to make sure that there's a win-win situation. Either you win, they don't lose. No, I mean, you win and they lose. No, they win and you lose. No, win-win. Okay. Then comes resource allocator. As the name suggests, okay, here the manager is responsible for allocating the resources, like budgets. Okay, every department is asking 2 crores. What to do? So the manager allocates. No, E&C 250 strength will give them more. Okay, Aero totally 140. Biotech, biomed only 60, printing 45. So based on that, you're allocating resources. So manager is coordinating with different departments, allocating budgets to them based on the requirement. So here the manager is doing resource allocator role. Who should get what? How much they should get? Okay, in what quantities will give? Will he give everything in the beginning itself, or step by step will do? So that is manager as a resource allocator. The manager as a negotiator. Sometimes that comes needs where the manager has to negotiate at different levels. See, one is entry in the organization. You may tell, I have 3 years experience, give me 50. They'll tell, we'll give 40. Then you'll tell 48. Then they'll 42. So na tera na mera 45. Okay, negotiation. Okay, then supplier says, if you buy more from us, we will reduce the price. If you buy 100 kg raw materials, it is 10 rupees per kg. But if you buy 1000 kgs, we'll give you at 8. So we are telling that much we don't need. Can you give us 500 for 8? or we'll take 1,000 now, but you give us in two consignments. We don't have inventory. What are you negotiating with them? Okay, then you manufacturer client is telling we'll pay you only 20,000 for the laptop. Okay, but you're telling no, the cost is 35. So this that whatever you're coming to a deal. Next time we'll give you discount and whatever. So much of argument and win-win situation. That is negotiating. Okay, so that is manager as a negotiator. So these are the Mintzberg's managerial roles: interpersonal, informational, decisional. So very important. So today we covered 14 principles, out of which at least 3 or 4 marks you will get. Managerial roles, 3 or 4 marks. So effectively 7 marks you have earned from today's class. Okay. So types of managers, should I do it today or not? I'm thinking. Okay, let me complete this. Okay, very simple thing. Again, very important. Oh, very simple. See, there are different levels of managers. Okay, one is the frontline manager, the middle level manager, then the top level managers. That's all. See, frontline managers are responsible for day-to-day tasks. Okay, middle level managers supervise these first line managers. Top level managers supervise the middle level managers. As simple as that. See this figure. Okay, first line, middle line, and top level. Now see this. This is one important figure from this chapter. Usually this is asked in different ways. Even in your recent exam, which I have sent to the question paper, the online exam that happened, this question was there. Okay, the thing here is show the different levels of managers and what are the skills required at different levels. That's the question asked in different ways. Okay, the meaning is the first line managers, technical skills are required in more. Okay, let's conceptual and design is okay. If you take the middle level, again, technical skills and conceptual fine. If you look at the top, less technical is okay, more conceptual and design skills are needed. Because at the top level you're planning, you have some talking about vision, mission and all that, you're conceptualizing things and then sending it downwards for execution. Okay, so at the first line you did not have conceptual and design skills that much. You should have proper technical skills. You should be able to decode the plan given to you and work and get the things done. Okay, but if you look at human skills, this is same throughout all the levels. Doesn't mean your top level means you can be rude to people. So whatever. You're in first line means you don't care for people. I am just first line. Why should I? No, nothing like that. Human skills same. Okay, human skills involve your communication skills, empathy, sympathy, interpersonal skills, dealing with humans. Okay, it should be equal across all levels. But in first level, you are expected to have more technical skills. In top level, you are expected to have more conceptual and design skills. Okay, so this figure very important. First figure from this, first figure in UM, which is important. There are some 6. So this is the first one. Okay, looks simple. We ask it in different ways, but you should be skills in this order. If you can say this much, 3 marks in your pocket. Okay, so see today's class 7 plus 3, 10 marks in your pocket. Okay, so any doubts at this point, you can ask me. I will download your attendance. Yeah, anyone has any doubts? Your attendance is downloaded. If you have nothing, then we will call it a day. We will continue on Monday. Now, next class, what we'll do is we will talk about. We will start doing the steps in planning, and then we will slowly move towards different types of plans. Then we'll talk about strategic planning. Then we will talk about strategic planning tools. So this is how the next classes will be. Next week will be. So any doubts you have now, you can ask me, or we can wind up. This much gyan is enough for today.
No doubts.
No doubts? Okay. Then we can wind up.
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank- Bye. Log in now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.